Before I start making excuses with the way my hair looks, I guarantee that you, like me, haven't seen your colorist in so long. Now, that being the case, I'm sure that, like your colorist, you haven't seen a proper wine server open a bottle of wine right beside you with all that glorious showmanship, if you will, right? So today, I'll be able to show you, I should be able to show you how to open up a bottle of wine like the pros do. My name is Gail, and this is Two Shots in a Pint. So what do you need? First of all, obviously you need a bottle of wine, right? So today I am featuring a Sasha wine from the Pyrenees region. It's a 2013 Shiraz. You need a wine glass. It's a red wine glass because you are serving red wine. So maybe in the future I'll come up with a video about pairing the right color of wine with the right wine, the right style of wine with the right wine glass. Now, apart from these two, because you're opening up like a pro, you're gonna need a waiter's cloth, right? So, I'm sure you've seen this in a restaurant in the form of a white color, right? Because you are at home, you are stuck in quarantine, right? You probably don't have a white one. If you do, then great. You can make do with whatever table napkin you have at home. So the one that I have for today is a beige one, right? With a gold trim because it matches the rest of my furniture, right? And lastly, you need a wine opener. Now, most likely at home you have a rabbit opener, was it a rabbit corkscrew rather, or one of those electric contraptions. But again, this video is about opening up a bottle of wine like a pro. Reason being, I'm sure you miss being able to do that at, in a restaurant, or seeing that in a restaurant. You want to be able to replicate the experience at home. Now, what do? First of all, you take the bottle of wine, right? Open your wine opener like this, right? Bring out the blade. By the way, excuse me for taping this over because it does have a label of a wine that doesn't sponsor our particular video, so don't wonder. So it's just so you don't wonder about that. Now, you want to be able to make a cut, right? One movement across with your index finger, right? And then one movement backwards, right? With your thumb. Now, the reason why you want to be able to do that is, again, you're trying to open it like a pro. You're trying to make sure that there's an element of showmanship to it. You want to keep this clean and pretty, right? For the person you're serving your wine to that night. Now, you don't move the bottle from left to right. You don't move the bottle around. Every movement, like a pro, should be using your hands. Now, you want to make an incision, right? One small incision to the front, right? What is that? What is the purpose of that? You want to be able to use the blade to get the top bit open. Now, this varies per label or per wine, right? Some of them have like a plastic version, kind of like this one. Some of them tend to feel metallic, right? So anyway, the whole purpose or the whole goal for this particular exercise is to make sure that you take it off in one go, right? In one portion, right? It's whole, right? It's not like falling apart. Again, that's the ideal. It takes practice to be able to get to this point, right? To this point. Having said that, you want to be able to open your corkscrew like so. If this is your first time to be able to do this, you want to make sure that you put your pointy end right here, right in the middle, right, before you lift up your corkscrew. Now, it's a bit dangerous if the pointy bit ends up on the sides, because what that does is it has a potential to break your cork. Breaking your cork doesn't alter the taste of your wine, but it's kind of a not a pleasurable experience to have those bits of cork in your glass when you're drinking your wine. So you want to be able to make sure that everything is intact. So having said that, you want to be able to make sure it's down the middle. Apply a bit of pressure from your dominant hand. I am right-handed, right? So this is why it looks like this. Again, take note of the fact that The bottle isn't moving. It's my hand that's moving. It's a corkscrew that's moving. There is the waiter's cloth right here on your arm, right? You want to be able to do this. Now, a couple of things to note from this particular portion, right? If you notice, this stops where my dominant hand is. So I'm right-handed, this stops to the right, right? Now, the reason why I prefer this style, this is kind of a breakaway, it kind of breaks, right? The reason why you want to be able to do that is you want to use one of these because you want to make sure that it has a full interaction with the lip of the bottle. It has to make full contact with the lip of the bottle. Now, hold on to it like so, right? It's a firm grip, right? Because the reason why you want to do that is you don't want this silver portion, right, to slide off. Because if it slides off kind of like this, right, you could potentially hurt your hand or damage the bottle, whichever one your priority is. If it's your hand or your bottle, I don't know, right? It's up to you, but either way, it's not pleasant. So, having said that, you're maintaining a firm grip with your non-dominant hand. You want to be able to pull up, right, all the way up, okay? So, if you notice, the cork is still in the bottle, that's normal, right? Because that's where the other portion of your opener makes a play. There you go. Again, if this isn't the breakaway style, it tends to look like this because there are openers that are like that. It makes it difficult because like it's too stiff and it's at an angle where you can't really, maintain that contact between the lip of the bottle and the opener. But with this, right, you are able to do so. Now, again, maintaining that firm grip, you want to pull all the way up and this should be able to finally open. Now, one of the things you have to take into consideration is you have to do this as quietly as possible. Sometimes, and this can happen, the cork opener is shorter than the actual cork. But if you notice, and if you were patiently listening, there was no sound. So, ta-da, right? This is what happens. So, you want to be able to take that cork away from your opener, close your opener, right? I can do this with one hand. It's, it again takes a little bit of practice to be able to do it, but that's how it's done. Now, you're supposed to put this in your pocket if you want to do this like a pro, right? But for our intents and purposes, because if I want to reach from my pocket, I'm gonna mess up my mic, so I'm just gonna put it down, right? Now, you want to be able to leave that cork over there. You want to be able to wipe the lip of the bottle, making sure that none of the foil, none of the cork end up on the side of your lip. Now, you want to be able to pour a little bit of the wine with a lift and a twist. Now, why do the pros do that? A lift and a twist. You want to do that to make sure that none of the wine goes to the side of the bottle because it tends to be unsightly. Again, a little bit of practice to be able to do that. So, there you go, right? Once you're done, you want to be able to wipe it with your cloth. Again, adding a little bit of showmanship to the activity. And there you go. Now, this is a tasting portion, of course, right? You want to, on a dinner, be able to serve it a little bit more. So a serving portion should reach up to the fattest point of your red wine glass. Right, so that's how you open a wine bottle like a pro. Now, if you like this particular video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share it to your friends, and if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below. My name is Gail. This is 2 Shots at a Pint. Cheers.